Hector is obviously your enduring spirit and iconic mascot. To
Yes.
understand Hammerfall, would you need to sort of get to know Hector, and especially with the song Hector's Hymn?
I think you need to be, to be with Hammerfall since day one to understand Hector, because he's been developing over the years. We always saw Hector as the kind of invisible but very present sixth member of the band. I mean, this inspiration, of course, comes from bands like Iron Maiden. They had their Eddie. And when we just, formed Hammerfall, or actually when we recorded and was about to release our debut album, Glory to the Brave, we said, we really want to have like a character, like a mascot for the band that will follow us throughout the career. So we can release an album one day without even putting the logo on the album, because it's enough just to put Hector. So he's such a strong trademark for the band. At the same time, I think we kind of limited ourselves a little bit, because we put a helmet on the dude, and with a helmet on, you can't really show any expression.
True.
So the only thing we can do is put him in different, in different positions, and like on the battle scene, frozen in ice, and so on. I would so like to put an expression on his face one day.
So with the Legacy of Kings album, which is prominent on the front cover, the album itself is the thundering title, finishes with a melodic transfixing The Fallen One. When looking at the music and your lyrics, how far do you feel the band has grown?
We have grown a lot. I don't even see myself as the same person I was when we wrote that album. That album was written in late 97, early 98. And the person I was then and the person I am now, I'm not even sure I know that guy from back then. So many things have happened. I think we wrote music. We still write music based on passion. I think passion is the ingredient here, but we learned so much along the way, and I think that now we dare to first album, second album, third album, maybe even fourth and fifth, we were kind of limited a little bit to what we thought heavy metal was all about. The framework were pretty tight. Now we dare to actually step out of these kind of boundaries that we, the framework and the boundaries that we set ourselves in the first place. Lyrically, I would say that I dare to be myself now when I write. Back then, it was a lot more fantasy-based. Even though I never read a fantasy book in my whole life, of course, heavy metal is kind of fantasy-based. But we have to also to keep in mind that someone wrote Game of Thrones. Someone wrote Lord of the Rings from nothing. They had a blank piece of paper and they created this. And I love that in my way of being creative. Like I always have like a blank piece of paper, and then I just need to create my own little worlds, so to speak. But the older I got, the more I want to talk about regular life. I'm going to talk about the importance of, letting our kids, be the persons they want to be and live the life that they want to live. And I would say that we are going more towards that in Hammerfall, even though we are dressing in studs and leather. Hector is on the battlefield. Hector is doing all that. But I'm trying to is it inflict, or I'm just trying to put these positive messages into the music without preaching, of course.
So let's go full forward to at least 2021 when Renegade 20th anniversary came out. Now it's full of remixes. Was this different setup to the typical remastered album? Did you go out of your realm for to remix things for a reason?
This was the first album that got remixed because both Glory to the Brave, we didn't even have the master tapes, because we couldn't afford to buy the tapes back then. So we had to rent the tapes, and the producer, Fredrik Nordström, he said he was crying when he erased the tapes because he knew he was doing something bad. You know, he said, you know what, why don't I just lend the $300 to the guys? You know, but we didn't have the money. So, but he said, you know what, that album and also Legacy of Kings, he felt they were perfect, mixing wise and mastering. Of course, you can always put up some of the faders, of course. For Legacy of Kings, for Renegade, at the time of the recording, at the time of the production, that was exactly the type of production we were after. But unfortunately, I don't think that production and sound aged as well as the previous two albums. So that's why we wanted to take the recording back. Well, this was also produced by Michael Wagner over in Nashville. Yes. So we wanted to take this album to Fredrik Nordström, who did the two previous albums, and see what that album would sound like with his kind of, you know, magic touch to it. And I think he made that album even more timeless now with the sound that he added. Of course, the ingredients are, I mean, we didn't change anything. We didn't add anything. He just tweaked everything into perfection, I would say. So that was a very important thing for us to be able to remix that album.
Yes, yes, totally. So then moving forward to 2023 with Crimson Thunder 20th anniversary, how was that received with the fans? Because there was a lot of interesting little bits and pieces like pre-production versions of the songs, acoustic live versions. How did the fans react to all of that?
I think that album is the most important album for, you know, in the career of Hammerfall, first of all. And I think, you know, from what I heard, I don't really is there something called a forum anymore on the internet? I have no idea. I'm trying not to read anything because I get so I get too happy when the reviews are positive, and I get so furious and mad if it's something bad is written. So I'm trying to stay out of that. But from what I heard, you know, they're very positive. We try to give, you know, kind of to overload these anniversary editions just with cool stuff for the true fans. And one thing that I was very clear about was the fact that if we're going to add some pre-production stuff, some like outtakes, this we will only include this on the physical releases. I do not want this to be on Spotify or because if someone heard about Hammerfall, yeah, okay, let me check it out, and they will, the first song they will hear is an outtake, you know, like, or a demo version of an old song. They would just like, what's this? Or they will hear Breaking the Law with Oscar singing and me on the guitar. Unfortunately, that version is out there somewhere. But it was, you know, for us, it was cool. It's cool for the fans if they understand what it's all about. But if that is the first thing they hear, you know, with Hammerfall, maybe that will, you know, scare them off.
Now let's look at the new album, Avenge the Fallen. What a bloody massive album that is. Lyrically,
thank you.
It's just from track one to the last track, it just blows me away. Let's look at the singles that you released beforehand, because the one thing I'm noticing is that there are about 3 or 4 singles will come out before the album with videos, and that seems to how a lot of bands are doing it this day. So Hail to the King, the video is like a movie, you know, like, and then looking at the behind the scenes part of it, that must have been one hell of a video clip itself to put together. How was it for you?
I mean, that video, it's so weird standing in front of a green screen and not having any clue or idea what's going to happen around you. Okay, now turn into this angle, do this, because this will happen behind you. Like, are you sure that will happen behind me? Yeah, okay, I take your word for it. Videos nowadays are, I mean, it's kind of that. I love to see the final version, but I hate recording videos because it's just so boring. It's the waiting game. You just sit there and then you do the song like 3 times, and then you wait 2 hours, and then it's time for you again from a different angle. Stand over there, do this, do that. Like, oh, it's just so boring. But no, it turned out really, really cool, and it has a certain positive vibe to it, because the whole song is about hope and about, you know, the sun is rising. Because and that is every time I sing "The Sun Is Rising," I do that in every verse. You see kind of the sun is rising even more in the background in the video. So no, if I would say that it was the best time of my life when I recorded the video, I would lie. So I'm just happy it turned out, you know, really good.
So who was the mastermind behind the video then?
That was Patrick Julius, our video director. He did now a couple of videos for us. So he had an idea, and we trust him, because we try to focus now, first of all, on the music, on the performance, trying to look cool, act cool, be cool, and whatever he wants to do, of course, he needs our approval. But I don't think we even knew what he wanted to do when we entered the film studio, to be honest with you. He had some like, yeah, we're gonna do this. He showed like pictures, and we said, okay, yeah, we trust you.
Now, the next single that came out was The End Justifies, which is a damn good kick in the face drumming, damn powerful song lyrically and musically. Obviously, you were very proud of that song when you finished it.
Absolutely. This is a really tough one to sing, and I was really scared when the tour started like 6 weeks ago. We did 3.5 weeks together with Powerwolf, and we added that song to the set list because it's so high pitched, you know, and I am afraid of heights. Let me tell you that. But it worked eventually, and it feels like the audience really understood, you know, what we want to say with that song. And damn, it's a great song to play live, and it's so good to have the fans in front of you when you do this song, because it's kind of a song about the band's journey and the strong bonds we have to our fans. Like they will have our backs and we will have theirs, always. So without the give and take, the love and respect that we have for each other, I mean, this cannot continue. As simple as that. And that video was the opposite, I would say, from Hail to the King. I just want to hear. We did something similar for what was it? Built to Last. Just in the rehearsal room, a rehearsal, just showing the energy that we still have at the age of 50 plus. We're not standing still, trying to just to play the song. Hey, hell no. I mean, Hammerfall exploding on stage, that is pyro itself, to be honest with you.
I actually really liked that video that went with it, because it was, and don't get me wrong, it was basic, and that was what was sometimes good in the rehearsal studios. Just you lot doing your jamming, you on getting the song, you know, worked out and just playing. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love that type of videos. Not many bands do that anymore because it's so well like organized, it's so well produced, stand there, look cool, look into the camera. Here, do you know what? Just go for it. You're going to record this song 8 times, just have fun with it. And we were so exhausted after the takes, you know.
Now, the next song that came out, the next single, was Freedom, which is looked on as a powerful anthem that celebrates break free from a lot of different constraints, which I'm quoting yourself on that one. Can you explain that a bit more, the song a bit more, please?
Well, true freedom to me is being you without anyone's permission. And also another aspect of that song is, have we not learned anything from the past? There's a lyric line, what is this? The future or repeated past? Faith instead of reason, it will never last. So it is kind of a thing that, hey, we need to, I mean, we can't really make a living or make our lives based on faith. If something said, no, it says so in the Bible, oh my God, hey, come on now. It doesn't work like that. You know, we need to reason. Like I said, it's really hard to understand, but it's kind of, hey, you know, we only have one life. Make the best out of it. If you claim that you have, well, you know what, I will reincarnate and I will come back. Well, you know what? If you do, if there is a life after death, see that as a fucking bonus. But the only thing we know right here, right now, is that, you know what? Make the best out of every second on Earth. And it's so sad to see that people they can't really do anything because they're so kind of chained by family values and religion, and they can't really break free, and they're so limited in life. I'm just so happy I was born in a country like Sweden with all the freedom that we have.
Avenge the Fallen, the title track, and the brilliant video that goes with it. To me, that seems to be the anthem for the album. Would you agree?
It is, and that's also the show opener nowadays. And some people say you can't really open with like a mid-tempo song like that. You know what? We can, and it worked really, really well. Absolutely. And that song, since it's the opening track of the album, starts with, what is the worst? Be the one who died or be the one who survived? I think that if people just sit down and think about that for a while, that is a tough question to answer. It is a very, very tough question to answer.
So seeing as though we've gone through 4 of the songs on the album, would you say that the album has like a running storyline throughout it, or does it change with various songs?
It's not a concept album, but it's clearly a red line. And maybe the concept lies in my way of thinking, writing the lyrics. That everything has everything touches 2 words, freedom and hope. And they write, I'm repeating myself, to live the life that you want to live and be the person that you want to be. An album that might need some contemplation and might raise some existential questions to the listener if they're open for it. I think problems nowadays is they're listening and they don't really have the lyrics in front of them. And in many countries, they don't, English is maybe not their strongest language, so to speak. So, and I would say that the lyrics on the albums are as deep as you want them to be. There's one song, Hope Springs Eternal. And that is, now I'm talking about the word hope here.
Yeah.
Like, if it were not for hope, the human heart would break. As simple. We need hope. Human species, if there is not hope, what else is there?
That's true. That's so true. Looking on the touring aspect for Hammerfall, first of all, 2024, how was that for a touring side of you? Did you go many festivals, many concerts? Was there anything that stands out for you for 2024?
It was a very busy year, I would say, because we finalized the production of the latest album. We toured South America, we toured North America, we did festivals in Europe, we released the album, and then we went on the tour with Powerwolf. So we're kind of exhausted now. It's been a busy year, and hey, we're not that
Australia
young anymore,
coming up soon.
and we have Australia coming up. I think that the highlight of the year was the secret show we did at the Summer Breeze Festival in Germany. They only announced, a secret band playing on one of the medium-sized stages, not the main stage, not the second stage, but like a little, smaller stage, capacity maybe 5,000-10,000. But of course, rumors spread, and everyone knew Hammerfall was, going to play. And we entered the stage in regular clothes, more or less, not the stage clothes, and the backdrop, and it was so packed. Some people were going to see another band, it was impossible because it was like a wall of people just coming towards you. Wow. Like, oh shit, I think I have to see Hammerfall because I cannot get through this wall of fans. So that was a really cool thing. We played 45 minutes, just pedal to the metal, heavy metal, and everyone stayed there, and they were so happy that we showed up.
How was Wacken on 2023 for you?
Not as muddy as everyone as for everyone else. Was so weird that they had to let 35,000 people go home again, but it was still 50,000 people. Show was great. Circumstances horrible, I would say. But at the end of the day, it's always nice to play Wacken. It's such a great gathering of fans and of bands, and it's like a big party, because some bands you know them, you maybe you met them once in your career, but when you come to these big festivals, it's what do you call it, like a party, like a company. I can't find the word for it. It's just fun. So except for the mud, actually I bought rubber boots before I went there. I bought rubber boots because you had, it was this much like mud everywhere.
All right, so 2025, you're coming over to Australia. What can we expect?
Expect an overdose of traditional heavy metal music. I mean, Hammerfall is all about the connection between band and fans, and just come there with the mindset that you want to have fun, and you're gonna go home smiling, being the happiest person ever. It's going to be I can't wait, because also scaling down a little bit, which we have to do now, playing clubs, it also gets us closer to the fans. And since this is the very first Australian tour for us, believe it or not, in 27 years it took us to do a proper tour. I think for many fans that were not able to travel to Europe to see us, this will be like a novelty experience, and hopefully a very positive one, that they will, feel the energy and the honesty in Hammerfall's music and performance.
How do you work out the song set though? From like, how many songs would you play from the latest album to how many you would go back to some of the classics? How do you work that out?
We have a formula that is based on passion, I would say. Since this is a tour for a new album, we need to, of course, play a couple of songs off the new album. I mean, that is what we have to do. Then you need to add some songs that the fans really want to hear. The hits have to be there. And then you need to play a couple of songs that you want to play yourself.
Yeah.
The songs are, moving in a certain way. And then you add a couple of surprises in there just to make it a little more interesting. Like, wow, I didn't believe they would play that song. And I think this kind of a formula, equation, call it whatever you want, that always works perfectly well for